Hello, Meet. So I wanted to review a tarot deck. The deck I wanted to review is this one, Barbieri Tarot. This is one of the decks that when I saw that it was going to be produced, just had to have it because it has that dark Gothic imagery that I really love. So this was published by Los Caribbean, and it doesn't actually say who produced it. It's the ultimate fantasy tarot melodies, Tore, it says. And yes, let's have a look, shall we? As usual, let us start with a little white book. And yes, Los Caribbean has not been very good with the little white books. I mean, the last deck of something I reviewed was that Lenormand deck, I think. Lenormand of the Roses, and it's so much better quality. I was so spoiled by that little white book compared to something like this. But let's have a look at it anyway. So, you can see it looks thick enough, but there's 4 or 5 languages in here. It's in English, Italian, Spanish, French, and Deutsch. So you have around 20 pages, these tiny little pages for each language. So you do have layout, and the layout is unique to this, I think, which I do like. I do like it when they give us a unique layout and not just another Celtic cross, because we have heard about the Celtic cross already. So it begins just by basically talking about the deck and then about the spread, which is a decent spread. And then we have basically the major arcana, which get this little 1 paragraph blurb each. And then you have the little arcana that also get 1 little of these paragraphs blurbs each. And as far as I remember, that's it. Yes, it is. Now, I do like that I have some of the tarot images within this little white book, decorating it a little bit. There's not a lot of those, but there is a few little pieces of decoration here and there, which makes it look a little bit better, but still, that's the job, I guess. Gives you a little blurb about each card, but really, if you're getting this as your first deck, and really I do recommend getting a Rider White deck instead for your first deck, but if you should be getting this and not know what the cards means, do get either a tarot book or find a good web page with descriptions of the cards and how to read them, because they might as well not include this because it's not going to be enough. But yeah, it's better than a lot of their little white books has been lately, or little grey book in this case, but still not good enough. So let's look at the meat of the product, which of course is the cards. Come on. And yeah, it's just one of those advertisement cards that was missing. So yes. These are the cards. I do really like the designs on them as from an art perspective, or rather I like the drawings. What I do not like is how tiny the image is compared to how huge the border is. And I do not know how easy these would be to trim, though you might be able to. But what's the point of this? What is the point of having these huge borders and then having the very gorgeous designs just sitting in the center of them? It would have been so much better to just have that spread out of the entire card. So that I do not like. I do, however, like the images themselves. Now, would I be reading with this? Since I have a tendency to really love the story method where you lay it out and you read it like a story, probably this is not a deck I will be using a lot, because almost all of them are just some dude, a picture of some dude in, and there's very seldom you can see a situation there. They're not really interacting with one another, no, are they? They're pretty images, but yes. Let's, for example, look at this card here. She isn't doing anything. She's standing there posing with her sword. I have a sword. I am an angel with a sword. I am badass. That's what this is saying. And yes, that do sort of catch the point of the card, but still it lacks so much symbolism compared to basically having the characters interacting with one another in some way, shape, or form. Wheel of Fortune here isn't as bad. But look here, look here. What does this symbolize? There's a woman there. She looks a little bit pissed. A little bit like she just put something on fire. Or sent a lightning bolt into something I think is more appropriate considering the weather, but still, yeah. Now, the images themselves are beautiful, and I really love them. But, like I said, this is a deck that is for the collection, because it's not how I usually prefer to read. But there's a lot of people that really like these kinds of cards for readings, where you basically have a picture of a person, and it's not like it's symbol-less. You do have symbolism here. It's just that most of them I think these would be better as posters than tarot cards, and my suspicion is that they were drawn as just that, as images, and then somebody thought, well, my dear artist, let's just make a tarot card out of your shit, so let's just pick some images for each card instead of basically making art specifically for the tarot. I mean, if you look at the sun here, does this give you the idea of the sun? Sort of, because you have the burst of energy, you have that, but can you say that this symbolizes new life, new creativity, the start of a new project, all of those things that the sun symbolizes? And it's not the worst fit ever, but still. So, are these too dark to read for clients with? I would say it's not the one I would reach for first, because while I wouldn't say that these images are disturbing, they're definitely gothic. But I wouldn't say they're so problematic that you cannot use them for a client reading. I'm not going to show you all of the little arcana, but they are fully illustrated. Now the cardstock is good. These will last for a while. It is not bad at all. Compared to some of the things that Lois Gerbio has produced lately, it's excellent. Now one thing, this is the backs of them. Now here are what I like and do not like about the back. I do really like the design. I do like that it is reversible. You cannot see with the cards if it's upside down or not. That pleases me. Something I do not like about the backs is that it has a different texture than the front. The front is very nice and glossy. The texture of the back is sort of textured and matte. It doesn't look matte here right now. Hello, I can see myself in the card. And not on a spiritual level, I can see the reflection, but it is actually, when you look at it in real life, pretty matte, and it has this textured feel to it. And for me, it's a little bit distracting when one side has a different texture than the other, but that's just a personal gripe. It's perfectly fine. So let's have a look at some other minor arcana cards. So yeah, I would say that for a deck that is very clearly that I have just picked out cards that would be better for posters than for tarot cards, this is great. And for me, since this is basically all of it, I watched a tarot video and I really liked the concept one had for he said for the court cards, it's dudes on drones holding shit, and definitely, and this basically all of it is dudes on drones holding shit. So yeah, if that's what you like to read with and you have absolutely no problem reading court cards whatsoever, you are gonna love this deck. If you have no problems whatsoever reading court cards and you happened to like naked dark angels, I like that. What I meant was liking if you really like Gothic fantasy art and you happen to have no problem whatsoever reading court cards, you are gonna love this deck. The images are good, it's sharp, it's crisp, it's very mood filled, the cardstock is good, it's a quality product. I approve. My only real gripe with it is, like I said, there are two things. One of them is that it seems like these were just random artworks placed on tarot cards rather than being specifically made for the cards, so that they lack a little bit of the central symbolism, but there's still enough symbolism there that you can easily read with them. So my only real gripe is these borders. Why are the artworks so small, and why are there so big borders? I am not pleased. This isn't good enough. Put the artwork on all of the cards, make the borders smaller. Other than that, this is a good deck. It's a good quality. I'll give it 7 out of 10. It is not a deck I am drawn to because I really have a problem reading court cards. And yeah, so just to end this video, I would say that when purchasing this, if you're not going to do it like me, and basically I have this to be a collection for my tarot collection, and basically it's not one I'm going to be reading with a lot. But if you're purchasing a deck to read with, I would say that the main thing you should consider is, do you have a problem reading court cards? If you do, this is not a deck for you. I have a problem with court cards. If you do not have a problem with court cards and you like dark fantasy art, this might be exactly the deck you want. So yes, that is my review of the Barbieri Tarot. And yeah, it's a good deck. I approve, I like it. Hope you have enjoyed this review. Have a great day, and blessed be.